the Asian Apprenticeship Awards 2018 in association with the Royal Air Force.
If I could have a little bit of silence for our next guest speaker, please. Having spent 14 years working in learning and development for organisations such as Jaguar, Land Rover, Eurostar, B-Sky-B, Vodafone and Citibank. I mean, that's an incredible CV. She took a break from it all to fly the learning and development flag on BBC One's The Apprentice.
And having survived 8 weeks in the process, we are absolutely delighted that she could join us here tonight. So please give a huge round of applause to the beautiful and the very talented Jasmine Kundra.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Wow, look at you all. What a good-looking crowd. You guys have really pulled out the stops tonight. Can you just give yourselves a round of applause just before we even start? Nice. Wow. I'm not going to assume that absolutely everybody here watches The Apprentice. So just in case, I'm going to explain how I got here. I am somebody who has dedicated my career to learning and development in the workplace, and I have motivated and coached and mentored people to grow and optimize their skills in the workplace and inspired them to be better versions of themselves. And of course, learning a lot myself along the way. But earlier this year, I decided to risk a well-paid job with a respectable organisation, and I decided it was time for a change. So I applied to be Lord Sugar's apprentice. I applied for the opportunity to set up a business with him and to win an investment of £250,000. So the video that you've just seen verifies that I made it through to the final 16. However, last week, I was fired on national TV let's just have a moment. I was fired on national TV having made it through 8 out of 10 tasks. And I'm really hoping that you're not going to hold that against me tonight. Because I'm actually here to tell you that it's been a life-changing decision. So how did a young-ish Asian woman from a good family with a steady career end up appearing on a reality TV show? Okay, so I realized that if I wanted to elevate myself to that next level in my career and in my life, I couldn't just play it safe. How many people have kind of been in that moment where you're thinking, okay, I need to do something different. Okay, I need to make a change. But in order to do that, it's never just there where you can just reach and just take it. If you want to get to the next level and elevate yourself to the next point in your career, you have to push yourself further than you've ever pushed yourself before. You have to go way out of your comfort zone. And you have to really show yourself and the world what you're made of. Even if you don't necessarily have the blessings of everybody, even if you don't have the support, even if you are taking an unconventional choice. So this is what I did. And, you know, if it hadn't been for appearing on The Apprentice, there is so much that I would not know about myself. For example, I would never know that I actually had what it takes to make it through thousands of applicants and be in the final shortlist of 16. And I know that the finalists in the room will be able to know exactly what I'm talking about, to make that bold choice and then to be accepted and have some validation that actually I did have it within me to do that. That power was always there inside of me. I just had to take the first step and take action and change something. And quite often, that point of decision can be the thing that changes the course of your entire life. If it wasn't for The Apprentice, I also wouldn't know that I actually have a decent right hook. And when I met the famous boxer David Hay, having won one of the tasks on The Apprentice, I actually gave him a run for his money. So that was a nice moment. It's really interesting when you decide to put yourself out there, because I'm somebody who, up until now, has been a very private person. I stick within this little zone where I know what I'm good at, I know what I like, and I like what I know. And I wasn't on social media. I wasn't really somebody who put myself out there at all. But when that happens, suddenly the world becomes your critic. Suddenly, when you start to do something and people know about it, everybody has an opinion. And that was quite a shock to me, from being a nobody to somebody whose every decision was criticized and scrutinized and was the talking point. But you know, there was a mirror that was held up for me whilst I was on national TV for 2 months. Trying not to trip over my dress, I hope I'm doing that elegantly. There was a mirror that was held up for me, and it was quite difficult at times. It was quite uncomfortable to see myself in that way and to see other people's opinions of me. And it showed me some home truths that, although they were difficult to see and to bear, actually, I'm a better person because of it. And if you never push yourself out of what you know, you're never going to grow, you're never going to develop, and you're never going to know what you're actually really made of. So, okay. And if it hadn't have been for The Apprentice, I wouldn't be here today. And hearing some of the stories from past winners, hearing and seeing the delight on the faces of the finalists and the winners up here, I am so proud to be part of this audience today, because I feel as though we are surrounded by the future, these finalists that have worked so hard to get to the point of this level of recognition. It's incredible, and this is, as we heard earlier on, this is important, okay? And I probably don't need to preach to this particular room about the value of apprenticeships. I think maybe the people within this room understand more than most how important apprenticeships are to industries and to the economy, the value that apprenticeships bring to organizations, but also for individuals. And having that opportunity to earn whilst you learn, to build specialist skills for life, and to have the opportunity to access a debt-free education. I just think that's incredible. And, you know, we've heard already that, yes, there needs to be more people in this room. We need to grow the Asian Apprenticeship Awards. We need to see this growing year by year. And that's going to require a change. And I think that we are all ambassadors for that change. And I look forward to the Asian Apprenticeship Awards 10 years from now, and I'm sure we're going to need a much more bigger auditorium than this, having many more finalists, more categories, more employers that are bringing that value and recognizing their staff and putting learning and development and training and empowering young people and their workforces and putting it at the heart of what they do. And I look forward to that moment. But for now, it's just us. And here's something that's interesting. In life, there are 3 kinds of people, okay? You have the sheep. So sheep tend to just follow what everybody else does, okay? They don't really step outside of the comfort zone. They don't like change, but they will just follow what the pack or the flock is doing. Then you have the donkeys. Now, they can be problematic because they just kick and spit and dig their heels in, and they don't want to change at all, and you have to drag them along with you. But then you have the lions. Now, the lions are not afraid of standing up, standing tall, roaring for what they believe in, and making a change. And I believe that every single finalist, every single business owner, large or small, every single organization in this room today has the heart of a lion. And we stand here today because we are empowering our young people and empowering them to achieve more, to be the best that they can be, and pushing them and giving them those opportunities that come with having apprenticeships. So I'm going to close just coming back to my own apprentice journey. I read an article recently about a military flying instructor in the RAF who talked about a student who had a perfect record. And he asks the co-pilot to fail the trip. And the co-pilot is saying, hang on a minute, why am I doing this? This student has a perfect record. And the instructor replies by saying, if she only knows success and she fails when she's out on the field, that's not going to help her, and it doesn't help us. So success is an amazing thing, and I congratulate all of the winners today. But what I'm going to say is actually failure is where the real learning takes place. It's only through failure that you can recognize how you're going to improve yourself, how you're going to grow, what you need to change. It's only failure that does that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here before you as a fired apprentice candidate at the Asian Apprentice Awards, and I would like to welcome you all to stand tall for this, roar with the heart of a lion, and take failure as something that is just part of your success and part of the start of your journey and not the end. Thank you.
The Asian Apprenticeship Awards 2018, in association with the Royal Air Force.